House prices are not decided by one magical number. What changes the outcome is that a property EUR price forms from location, comparable sales, condition, supply, demand, financing, urgency, and negotiation. Think of two similar apartments selling differently because one faces a quiet park and the other faces a noisy road. That small detail changes the decision because a home EUR price is a market judgment, not just the owner EUR opinion. Comparable sales are the usual starting point. In real life, buyers, sellers, agents, and valuers look at recently sold nearby homes with similar size, age, layout, and features. Picture a 3-bedroom villa being compared with other 3-bedroom villas sold in the last few months nearby. This matters because actual sold prices matter more than hopeful listing prices. Location changes the baseline before the house is even inspected. Under the surface, schools, commute, safety perception, noise, shopping, transport, and neighborhood reputation all affect what buyers are willing to pay. This shows up when a smaller flat near a metro station selling for more than a larger one far from daily convenience. So the useful takeaway is that buyers pay for the life around the property, not only the walls. Condition adjusts the number after location sets expectations. The practical engine is simple. A clean roof, updated kitchen, working air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems reduce uncertainty for the buyer. You can see it when one house needing immediate repairs receiving lower offers even though its floor plan looks attractive. The result is that visible beauty helps, but hidden repair risk can pull value down. Size matters, but not in a straight line. Mechanically, extra square footage is valuable only when it is usable, well laid out, and matched to buyer needs. For example, a home with awkward corridors feeling smaller than a better designed home with less total area. That is why layout can make the same size feel expensive or wasteful. Supply in the local area changes bargaining power. The process works because if many similar homes are listed, buyers can compare and negotiate harder. If only a few are available, sellers gain leverage. A simple example is a tower with 10 nearly identical units for sale forcing sellers to compete on price and upgrades. The practical lesson is that your home is priced against available alternatives. Demand comes from real buyers with budgets. The hidden lever is that population growth, jobs, migration, school cycles, lifestyle trends, and investor interest can increase buyer activity. A realistic case is a neighborhood near a new business district attracting employees who want shorter commutes. The viewer should remember that price rises when more qualified buyers chase limited suitable homes. Financing affects what buyers can actually offer. The moving part is this: mortgage rates, down payment rules, bank approvals, and monthly affordability convert desire into purchasing power. One ordinary version is the same buyer affording less house when interest rates rise even if salary stays unchanged. Once you see that, house prices depend partly on the cost of borrowing. Seller urgency can move price quickly. What changes the outcome is that an owner relocating, divorcing, facing debt, or buying another home may accept less for speed. Think of two identical homes listed together, but the urgent seller agrees to a lower clean offer. That small detail changes the decision because motivation can matter as much as marble countertops. Buyer emotion can push prices above calculation. In real life, a buyer may pay more for a view, childhood neighborhood, perfect kitchen, or fear of losing the home. Picture a family stretching budget because the house is beside the school their child already attends. This matters because real estate prices contain both math and attachment. Appraisals and valuations can limit deals. Under the surface, a lender may refuse to finance above the appraised value, forcing more cash, renegotiation, or cancellation. This shows up when a buyer offering high but the bank valuation coming lower than the contract price. So the useful takeaway is that the mortgage system can discipline emotional bidding. Renovations do not always return every dollar spent. The practical engine is simple. Buyers value improvements based on taste, quality, neighborhood standards, and whether the upgrade solves a real problem. You can see it when an expensive luxury bathroom in a budget area failing to raise the sale price by the full renovation cost. The result is that renovation value depends on buyer demand, not owner spending. Market timing influences final price. Mechanically, seasonality, interest rate cycles, job markets, and local construction pipelines can change buyer confidence. For example, a home selling slowly during a rate shock but attracting more offers months later when buyers adjust. That is why the same property can meet a different market mood at a different time. Listing price is a strategy, not a final truth. The process works because some sellers price high to leave negotiation room, while others price sharply to attract multiple offers. A simple example is a low asking price creating a bidding contest that ends above expectation. The practical lesson is that asking price should be read as a tactic inside a market, not the property a euro's guaranteed value. Negotiation converts market value into contract price. The hidden lever is that inspection findings, financing terms, closing date, included furniture, and repair requests can all change the deal. A realistic case is a buyer accepting a higher price because the seller includes appliances and agrees to a flexible closing date. The viewer should remember that the final number often reflects terms, not only bricks and land. Online estimates can be useful but incomplete. The moving part is this. Algorithms may miss renovation quality, street noise, view, building condition, or seller urgency. One ordinary version is an online estimate treating two units alike even though one has water damage history. Once you see that, data helps, but property-specific inspection still matters. A practical buyer should ask why this price, not only whether it feels fair. What changes the outcome is that the answer should connect to comparable sales, condition, location, financing environment, and current competition. Think of reviewing sold homes before deciding whether a listing is overpriced or simply in a high-demand pocket. That small detail changes the decision because price confidence comes from evidence, not from the seller a euro's confidence. House prices are decided by evidence, pressure, and negotiation coming together. In real life, no single factor explains every sale, but the strongest clues are nearby sold prices, buyer demand, property condition, and financing reality. Picture a beautiful house can still sit unsold if price ignores comparable homes and buyer budgets. This matters because the best way to understand price is to study the market around the property, not the property alone. House prices are decided by comparable sales, buyer demand, property condition, financing conditions, and the seller a euro's motivation. A seller can ask any price, but the market tests that number. If similar homes nearby sold for less, buyers and lenders may resist. If supply is tight and buyers are competing, the same home can attract stronger offers. A useful example is a renovated house beside an unrenovated one. Both may have the same number of bedrooms and the same location, but the renovated home may command more because the buyer sees fewer immediate repairs. Yet the premium has a limit. If the seller prices far above nearby sales, the appraisal or buyer hesitation can pull the number back down. Timing also matters. A house listed when mortgage rates are low may face more qualified buyers. The same house listed when rates rise may receive fewer offers because monthly payments become harder to afford. The property did not change, but the buyer pool changed. That is why price is not only about the building. It is about the market around the building. The best way to understand a house price is to ask 3 questions. What have similar homes actually sold for? How many serious buyers are competing right now? What would a buyer need to repair, finance, or compromise on after purchase? The price is where those realities meet, not simply what the owner hopes the home is worth.